Okay, so not ideal for a training video or tutorial video, I know, but to bring you up to speed, there are 3 grub screws here in here that have needed to be loosened a little bit to allow the whole mount to come out. Also, don't try to take a hammer to the bolt to put it through the end, out of here at the end, because it screws. You need to unscrew it further. So I've done that, and this wafer thin looking washer here will need to go back there. I remember that because I've got the Velcro strips on that side. And then here you've got these metal, and that internal thing that go the other wafer washer there. These are both quite well greased. So I'm just going to put these aside for now, and oh lordy, and yeah, get that off the carpet. We don't want any carpet fragments on that. You'd probably use something else to put this mount on. I'm just using a carpet. Probably my fault later when I can't get the grease off. But there we are. So in here you can see the problem, and also why not show you this. I mean, look at that. This is where the north latitude bolt has been pushing against a nice big dirty great big groove into that tongue there. This is the problem, because when you're moving the bolt, aka this one, see how far that's gone in? That's the northern latitude bolt, and what's happened is you push that right the way, and that's gouging right into there, and you're trying to adjust north for that, moving all your kit up with it. And I've in the past had to use steel tubes to get the leverage, and of course then your polar scope gets in the way of it as well, which is why I've never gone to the solid bolts, because it's always been nice to move these lugs out of the way. One thing that has been said is do not take these bolts out. They're going to be needed in there. I don't know whether I've done it a slightly different way to said person, but I've got this out now. So what I'm going to do is adjust it and look to get the rail in. So I'm also going to take these bolts out and see how straight they are, and I'm probably going to change them anyway, in all fairness. So so far I just have to remember which way round those things go, those washers go. So I have taken a picture, and I do strongly suggest if you're going to do this is take a picture and know where things go back. So the wafer thing by itself is going to go into here, and the 2 metal discs with the plastic one on the inner side will go back into there. But take pictures as you go, and that way you've got an audit trail to come back. I don't think this is going to be a particularly difficult job. It's all just about now greasing up down here, greasing up the bolts if I'm going to replace the bolts, and then preparing this rail here to go in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grease this up, pop it in there, and then fun times getting that back on here. I will also say, make sure you got the proper tools, because skywatchers don't make a habit of making things quite tight. Also, I will say that in contrast to David Woods's instructions, I have needed to use the 216 spanners, because that's what it is on both sides. But in his defence, I think somebody else mentioned that it varies from mount to mount, but I have needed to use 216 millimeter spanners here, which fortunately I had to buy that as a custom set from Argus purely for this job. Not the first time I've had to buy tools for astronomy, but they get reused, don't they? And the socket set I already had down here, and that's been very useful. That has to undo the bolt after, and I've got no doubt it's going to have some use putting it back. And also the grub screws I've left in, and they're going to have to be put back. So make sure you've got the, as David Wood says in his instructions, make sure you've got the relevant Allen key to remove. You don't take the grub screws out, and the grub screws are literally there. And you have to make sure you've loosened them, because if after you've taken the bolt out you still can't fully remove this, you need to further loosen the grub screws. And don't forget to tighten them back up when you put the assembly back together. Anyway, I'm in a rush to get this done before the school run's done. So I shall come back to you when I'm about to put the rail in and try to put the entire assembly back together. So it's been a bit bitty. I will throw my hands up. I have never done this before. And even I have met a few issues along the way. But by and large, skill level, ask me once I've done it. Cheers.